Here are my top 10 tips for building a high tunnel. Number 1, make sure that you have a suitable site. Control the weeds before building a high tunnel, make sure it's flat, and make sure it's well drained. Number 2, read the directions and make extra copies of the directions so that you can have those copies out in the field as you're building that structure. Number 3, get the components out, sort them, make sure everything is there. The last thing you want to do is be missing that one part and take a week to get it in from the factory. Number 4, gather your tools. A cordless drill with lots of batteries, lots of drill bits, lots of screwdriver bits are key. Other tools that you may want to have on hand are shovels, rakes, laser levels or string levels, ladders, wagons, and of course, lots of friends and lots of good food. Number 5, make sure that site and make sure all the components that you will put in are perfectly square and perfectly level. As you build that structure, one piece goes on the next piece, so if you're off just a little bit when you start, you're off all the way down the line. Number 6, overbuild the structure, especially if you're in windy locations. A lot of manufacturers will say, space the ribs at 5 or 6 feet on center. If you're in a windy location like Iowa, Nebraska, South Dakota, put those ribs at 4 foot on center to give yourself some extra stability there. Use strong end walls, use extra purlins, use extra strong baseboards to hold everything together. The wind really takes a beating on the structure, so overbuild it. Number 7, consider cementing in some of the posts on this structure. At the very least, cement the 4 corners in, but may also want to consider cementing some of the line posts as you go down. Now, a lot of times people will say, well, this means it's a non-permanent structure and I'm going to get taxed on it. Not true. In a lot of cases, counties have the authority to tax it regardless of whether you put cement in or not. So go ahead and cement it in and make it firm and strong. Again, that cement will provide extra wind protection. Number 8, assemble the ribs on the ground in an open place. Use Tech screws and driver bits to make sure everything is taut and put together. Number 9, once the structure is all put together, use tape or some other soft material to protect all sharp corners on that structure that has a potential to touch the plastic. That plastic will bounce around and move around, it'll stretch and shrink, and it'll move with the wind. Any sharp corner is a potential place where that plastic can get torn, and once it's torn, the wind can get a hold of it and rip it off your high tunnel. And finally, number 10, install that polyethylene cover on a very calm, early morning. Even a 2 or 3 mile per hour wind can be a disaster when you're trying to pull that giant piece of plastic up over that high tunnel. That's my top 10 list for building your high tunnel.
Managing weeds inside high tunnel is critical. That is because weeds compete with your cash crop for nutrients. They can also serve as areas where your pests and diseases hang around.